Hello. Have you seen this? A weekly movie podcast that covers the latest movie news and dishes out the freshest reviews. I'm your host, Michael Ornelas, and my co-hosts are Erica McMullen and Adrian Cedeno. Just a little background about us. We have a diverse interest in movies. So maybe I'll kick us off just to give you a little background about who I am and what movies I love. Went to film school in college. Didn't end up doing anything in film in my career, but never got rid of the itch. So here I am talking with my wonderful co-host and you about movies. If I were to say what my favorite type of movies are, they tend to be thrillers. I love me a drama. I like cerebral, thought-provoking films. But Erica, let me ask you, what would you gauge yourself as a film watcher? Like a 1 to 10, how deep into the jungle are you?
I like to be really moved by a movie, like no matter the emotion behind it. So like one of my favorite movies is Jurassic Park, and it's always like that heartbeat, that nostalgia, like that, yeah, the sciencey aspect of like, could dinosaurs like be a thing, and like this is what would happen if it was a theme park.
Yeah.
I like kind of like the unknown of things, I definitely lean towards sci-fi a little bit more, probably. But yeah, like that deep feeling that you get in the movie, like it really's got to like have you gripped.
Let's segue there. What are your top 4 favorites in honor of our friends over at Letterboxd? And if Letterboxd wants to be friends with us, that's great. Right now, it's a one-way street, but we're here to pay respect. Yeah, your favorite 4. What do you got?
So my favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. 2 probably V for Vendetta. Love a good revenge. Love that it's kind of hitting the nail on the head with some things that are going on in the world.
Remember the 5th of November.
Yeah. Third, I'm gonna go with The Nightmare Before Christmas. Again, it's a nostalgia thing, but that's a movie that I could watch every day of October, every day in December, and still sing along and have a good time and enjoy it throughout.
I might go watch that after this recording. I'm in the mood now.
You need your fix.
I need my fix.
And then number 4, The Truman Show.
Love
Jim Carrey. Love the whole aspect of like Saturn's return and him not really knowing what's going on, and he needs to kind of pivot in his life, and finding out that you're essentially just a little experiment, a social experiment. Really crazy.
Aren't we all just social experiments?
Yeah.
Adrian, how about you? What kind of movies you into? What's your vibe?
So I'm across the board. I like it all, but I definitely cater to like comedies, my comedy, kung fu, like martial arts movies, but more like action. I dig it all, but I definitely tend to have comedy as like my top. So like right there, we'll segue to like my top 4. My top 4 would be like Waterboy, an Adam Sandler movie. Nothing but comedy, but that nostalgia. I watched it in the early 90s, laughing my butt off with my aunts and uncles. So that's a nostalgia one, but that's probably one of my favorites. Sticking with comedy, Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura. That's one of my favorite characters from Jim Carrey.
Just watched that this last week, and like it's still good. It's still good.
Dan Marino. Yeah, can't go wrong.
Laces out, Dan.
Yeah,
laces out.
Go Einhorn Finkel.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
So I did grow up watching a lot of Jackie Chan kung fu movies. So one of the newer ones that I still think with Chris Tucker is still a comedy, Rush Hour. That's got to be up there on my top 4. That whole franchise was pretty good with Chris Tucker.
I mean, the Rush Hour franchise was on top of the world when it was out. Now there's some jokes that might not.
A little problematic.
But might be problematic. But we see these are the movies Adrian likes. So there's a fan for everything.
It was real. And then, some kung fu, like Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon was a good one.
It's a good one.
That's top 4. How can you not put that up there?
That's good. I love me some Enter the Dragon. My top 4, just to round this out. I mean, PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson is my guy, but I won't flood my top 4 with just his movies. I'll say PTA. I'll have Boogie Nights represent him. That's my number 1 movie, as you can see. I have a poster back here. Incredible acting, incredible I'm
Is that
now
Mark
of
Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg, Don Cheadle, Burt Reynolds, Luis Guzman. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, an incredible cast, and you fall in love with every character. They're not just like side
Mhm.
throwaway characters. Like you become a part of this family. That's number one. I could do a whole pod just about that. And then I'm gonna just think of my favorite directors and pick a representative of them. So I'll go with our boy Kubrick. Well, my boy Kubrick. 2001 gets a honorable mention because of just the spectacle it is, the influence it's had on generations to come, still holds up. I showed your son this movie, Adrian, and the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes have no dialogue. And he told me those were his favorite parts. And that just speaks to a young kid
Yeah.
to be able to have the attention during an old movie like that, how powerful it is. So 2001 Space Odyssey, I'm just going to claim that as my movie. The Shining backseat, but The Shining's that too. Goodfellas by Marty. I mean, me and my buddy
Solid.
Jeremy quote that movie all the time. Jimmy will
Mhm.
tell you. But outside of that, my last spot, I'm going to take a Jim Carrey movie, and I'm taking Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
We
Um,
all have a
we
Jim Carrey
we all have
movie.
Big Jim on our favorites, which is great, and it shows the diversity of
Jimmy
him.
boy.
And
Right.
what he represents to us as, again, we're all millennials. And,
Mhm.
I think that'll speak to some of our conversations moving forward on the pod. But ultimately, I think we want to be a podcast that's accessible to you, the listener. We're not prestigious by any means. You know what I mean? As you can see, I'm trying to be fancy with some lights to have better aesthetics to distract you from what's happening over here. But nonetheless, I hope you all tune in. Stay tuned. We're going to go over all the different news, movie-related news that come across our social feeds. And then we're going to pick a movie of the week that's either fresh in theaters, fresh on the streamers, and give you our thoughts and reviews on it. So hope you join us for the ride, and thanks for tuning in. Anything you guys want to say before we sign out?
No, just super excited.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys.
Love it. All right, guys. We'll see you on the pod.
Yay.